Hey all, this is Martin from How to Make Mobile Games over in China. Today, what am I doing? I'm going to play a game. I usually don't do games on the channel. It's obviously about how to make mobile games, but it's 2:30 in the morning right now, and I decided to play some Gradius 3 on my SNES emulator on my Mac here. So I thought it might be interesting if you guys were watching, and maybe as a player can also talk a little bit about what we're doing in games, and talk about mobile games especially. So, but recently, why did I decide to do one of these videos? Well, I'd been watching some of the long play videos on YouTube from a channel called Cube 55 or something like this. And what they do is basically just play through sort of classic games, and like games from like the SNES and the Mega Drive or Genesis era. And I wanted to do that as well, so I'm just gonna like play around here, and I'm gonna record at the same time. So this isn't a tutorial. This is just sort of me chatting and making a video that's hopefully interesting and people will enjoy it. So I'm actually going to set this on easy, and because this game kicks my ass, oh my god, it messes me up big time. It takes me to school and fails me, really. So I'm really into like classic old game space shooters, especially like this one, and games like R-Type. Space Invaders before this. I was playing on the Sinclair Spectrum when I was a kid, and I really enjoy these old school space shooters. So like I said, I got hold of a ROM emulator a few weeks ago, and I've been playing this game a little bit along with F-Zero as well. But this one's a lot of fun. It's a huge challenge, and I've put this on easy now, so I should be able to get a little bit further, but on normal mode it's seriously hard. This game is a real challenge, and it's something I enjoy because I think a lot of games recently, they don't have a huge challenge factor. They're very, very forgiving, especially the games that might be, say, at the top of the Google Play or iPhone chart, general sort of iPad and tablet games, because the audience is much broader these days. A lot of girls play games now, and a lot of women, and not to sort of generalize too much, but I think women players are generally used to something which is a little bit more forgiving, and perhaps the frustration level isn't quite as high. But these games are very, very challenging, very, very frustrating. I'm doing okay here right now, and that's just because it's on easy. On the normal setting, this is really hard. But it's good to sort of look back at these games because I think it kind of reminds me that gameplay really is the core of any game, and that might sound like an obvious statement. Of course it is, but I think we can forget that sometimes. Especially when we're looking at things like artwork and monetization and so on. And obviously those things are extremely important. A game, it's very difficult to get the game downloads when the game doesn't look good. So those things are obviously important. But I think at the core of it really is gameplay. It's all about, is this game fun? Is it enjoyable? And I think sort of playing these older games sometimes tends to remind me of that. And it's also just because it's cool, and that's why I'm playing it as well, of course. And there's a very strong nostalgic feeling for me when I play these games. I think my main sort of era of playing games might have been from, let me think. I guess it was the SNES era was really the height of my game playing pastime. I think from roughly, say, 92 to 95 and 96, I remember my parents had got me and my brother a SNES. Before that, we had a Sega Master System, which is a great console. But it just wasn't that much fun. And I think because we got hold of a Master System when the Mega Drive, my friend had a Mega Drive, and the 16-bit era had come into play. So I was kind of like really impressed with 16-bit graphics, so I was a little bit jealous of the other kids who had a Mega Drive or a Super Nintendo. But then we got on one day and I was just blown away. I was, the graphics were just amazing, and I got hold of Street Fighter 2 with the Super Nintendo as well. It was the Street Fighter Turbo Edition, which was like Street Fighter 2, the first edition, but you could play with the 4 boss characters, and you could also speed up the gameplay as well, and that was just so much fun. And I did not sleep. I stayed up till 6 or 7 in the morning playing it, really, and trying to get all the way to M. Bison and Sagat, or Sagat, however you say it. That was a lot of fun, that. It's actually a good thing that I'm not quite addicted to games these days, because I wouldn't get anything done, seriously. When developing mobile games, as a lot of the viewers on the channel know, it does take a lot of time, a huge amount of time, to develop games, and especially when you're building your own business and trying to get things done. I think I've just got to keep a tab on like the amount of like time I end up just like playing games. And my Xbox failed on me a few years back, and that's, who knows, that might have been a blessing in disguise, because I wasn't wasting too much time on it. But anyway, so I think on just an update as well. I think whilst I'm playing, I'm actually able to talk a little bit as I'm playing here. Probably because this is on easy mode. If this was on normal, I just wouldn't be talking at all. I'd just be fully concentrated on getting through this. But this is a lot easier on easy mode. Oh god, this is close. But the past few days, as I mentioned in one of my other videos that I did earlier today, I've been working on online code to get one of our games, Ninja Birds X, to have an online multiplayer mode. And so far, that game is released on iPhone and Android, and I'm testing the multiplayer functionality out using the Unity web player version. And the reason I'm using the Unity web player, which is basically players can play the game inside of a web player like Chrome or Internet Explorer. I'm doing that because at the moment I'm not allowed to. Unity doesn't allow us to use the online functionality without having the full pro version of Unity, which is basically, if I wanted to get an iPhone license, I'd have to pay $3,000 or $4,500 if I wanted to get both licenses for Android and iPhone. And that's kind of steep for any independent developer, whether it's a team or not. So basically I need to kind of justify if it's going to work or not. So, I think online really is, this might sound obvious as well, but online is the way forward for mobile games or any game. I think when you're thinking about gameplay is always, figure out how can we get this to be a multiplayer game, because single player games now are very hard to generate. It's hard for them to generate revenue now unless it's a big IP or something very, 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 catches the attention of the audience, of the general audience out there. So having online and multiplayer capability is extremely important, I think, and I'm hoping to give you guys some kind of like report, a few weeks from now and sort of say, oh yeah, this worked out really well. Oh, that just destroyed everything on the screen. I had to say, that item on the end there, I never got it before, so I didn't know what it did. But it wasn't very useful, actually. I just kind of wasted it. Anyway, doesn't matter. But I kind of got the inspiration recently as well, because I'm thinking about our development business, Cobalt Play, which is the development side of things. That's not the publishing side of things that I'm doing at the moment. And basically with Cobalt Play, I'm trying to figure out what's the next level, what's the next step for the business and the games. I could sit down and develop, small, casual mobile games all day long, of course, and that's what I really enjoy doing. And they do generate some revenue, of course, but they're not massive successes, and I want to expand on like the knowledge that I've put together now, and I want to take it to the next level and see what online can do, and see if the games really do get a lot of traction, because